Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, and sports fans everywhere, man. Welcome to Coffee and Sports, the morning show, fellas. We have a lot of events popping off, man. In sports, NBA's coming back tonight. World Series is about to pop off this Friday. Um, but let's. How y'all feeling, man? NBA's coming back. World Series. How we feeling this morning about everything?
Hold on, hold on. You say NBA is coming back. It's more than it's coming back. It's where it's coming back. It's coming back to where it should have never left. It's coming back to NBC, baby.
Right,
Come
I
right,
mean,
on, y'all.
I mean, is the NBA
right.
really on NBC if it's on Peacock?
Look, it's as close as we gonna get, doggone it.
I'm good with Peacock. It's like a
I'm good
cousin
with
to NBC.
Peacock.
It's all good. It's
It's
NBC's
coming back.
cousin.
But before we get to Will and his Monday Night Raw, man, we got to talk about it, man. The Blue Jays, um, they going to the World Series, man, for the first time since 1993. I seen that one when Joe Carter
Joe
knocked
Carter.
that one smooth out
Mm-hmm.
the park, and when they took the World Series from the Phillies that year. Um, Mo, how we feeling, man, about the Blue Jays finally returning to the World Series, man? They
Uh,
put together what a seventh inning 3 run stretch to close it out.
look, it's big because it's been a minute since they've been to the World Series. But look, as a casual Dodgers fan, I just feel like the Dodgers will take care of the Blue Jays. Canada, they can have hockey. We'll take care of baseball. We're good.
Yeah, Will, man, how you feel about the game with between the Seattle Mariners and the Blue Jays?
I thought the Mariners sort of kind of choked it away after being 3-1, but at the end of the day, the Blue Jays got it done. They better enjoy the celebration now because y'all gonna lose 4 games to 1 to the Dodgers, and they're gonna go to the
Damn.
World Series again. They're too inconsistent. They're too inconsistent. Um, I just think the Dodgers are the better team.
Mm. Brett, how you feel about the Blue Jays returning to the World Series, man? Finally.
Hey, I love it. It's always nice to see teams break long droughts to return to the World Series or any big sporting championship for that matter. And I actually think it's going to be a great series. The key for the Blue Jays will be you got to chase the Dodgers starting pitching out early and get to that bullpen because that bullpen's just been a hot mess. The
It has been.
starting pitching has been just covering up for that. So key for the series, the Blue Jays just got to get rolling early, and if they don't do that, Dodgers will take this one home pretty easily. So it'll be a fun series.
So let me ask you this, man. Could we be potentially looking at an upset, or are we looking at a back to back for the first time in like 25 years?
Back to back.
Back to back? Just
I will say one thing though. I will say one thing that throws my theory out the water. If the Dodgers become the Dodgers and choke, we've seen them choke in the playoffs before. Now, granted, they haven't choked in a World Series, but you never know. Um, if they come in and play down to that level of competition, yeah, they can lose. But it's the Dodgers. It's the Dodgers series to win. It's the Dodgers series.
I agree with what Will just said. Look, if both teams play their best baseball, the Dodgers are going to sweep. They're going to
Oh,
sweep them. If they both play at their optimal talent level, the Dodgers are going to sweep them.
let me ask you this: do you feel the same way if the Dodgers didn't have Otani?
No, no.
y'all don't
They got
get. Come
they got a
on.
great squad without him. I don't want nobody to dismiss that. But did you see what he did in the closeout game?
Yeah.
There's nobody else in baseball that can do that. That is one of one.
So with Otani, you saying it's a clean sweep. Without him, would it be a close series?
Yeah, I guess they would get one win.
I think they get one now. I think they get one now.
No.
But yeah, I think they get one. That's all they getting. They ain't getting no more than that.
That's crazy. But anyway, go ahead, Will. Take over. What you
All
got
right,
for us
all
tomorrow?
right. Wanted to ask you fellas. We got some wrestling guys with us from the Meaty Boys podcast. Um, I got a question for y'all. Were you guys looking for that heel turn from Jay Uso last night? Were y'all looking for that last night?
I was. I was. It was the setup, right? It was the whole thing about family and that kind of thing.
About family.
But Jay was leaning towards the Roman Reigns way of thinking, and Jimmy was about family.
Right.
And Jimmy saved Jay during that match. I lost count multiple times. Um, and so the setup is it's clear that Jay's going to be a heel, especially the fact that he won, and you're going
Yep.
to see Jay Uso and CM Punk for the belt. CM Punk's not going to be the heel. Jay and I thought about it. The only way Jay Uso could become the champion again, he'd have to be a heel.
Right.
So the setup's going to be Punk. It's going to look like Punk's going to win. Jay's going to do something shisty. Jay's going to win.
What do you think, Brett?
I didn't expect it last night. That's probably something if he's going to full blown turn heel. They'll probably just save that for a big moment like a pay per view itself. But
Mm,
I do think that it'll happen. But I wasn't really expecting it last night because I feel like they're just going to save that.
right.
They're going to save that for the biggest moment. So yes, but no, not last night.
That's what I thought too. That it would be saved for a bigger moment. Also we got new world tag team champions last night. AJ Styles and Dragon Lee defeat the Judgment Day for the world tag team championship. Fellas, are they transitional champions, or that's something that we might be something that they might be able to build with that team? I'll start with you, Mo.
I, I think they're going to hold it for a little bit. I don't think they're going to have a long run. It was a great moment because obviously we know AJ Styles' career is winding down, so it's nice to see him wearing some gold one more time before he moves on. I don't look at AJ Lee and Dragon Lee as a great. They don't look like a great tag team. If you watched the match last night, the Judgment Day was the better team, but when the match got chaotic, they found a way to win. But they're not going to hold the belts very long.
What you think? What you think, Brett?
Well, they they can't really do much worse than the past couple tag teams, right?
Facts.
Like, I feel like it'll be a short reign, but both guys are just so good in the ring. I think it'll be a fun reign. And that's really all it needs to be. As long as they go in, maybe kind of like what they just did with Sami Zayn, where he was defending the title every week. If you do something like that with the tag team titles with those two to try to build some prestige back up,
Mm.
I think that'd be great. Because, the Raw tag team titles are kind of in the gutter right now after the Judgment Day
Yeah.
have defended it like 3 times total. And
Yeah.
before that, we had a really bad New Day run, and the War Raiders didn't do much. So I think these two, you put the titles on a workhorse, and you have a great chance here to rebuild a lot of prestige with it if you just do the Sami Zayn or John Cena method. Just tag team title open challenge it every week.
Do you guys feel like they kind of put these two guys together maybe like at the last minute?
It seems thrown together, right?
Yeah, it
It
seems
seems,
real rushed and thrown
and
together.
and that's why I don't think they're going to have a long, sustainable run. It's thrown together, and the truth is, it's not even about dragging. It was about putting another belt on Styles, right? That's what it was about. So
Yep.
look, I'm not hating on the tag team. I think it's the division needed a change because obviously Judgment Day was boring. Not only were they boring, they won the belts. The belts hadn't been defended since July or something like that. They've only defended the belt. That was their second title defense, and they lost.
Man, your guy was on last night, Mo. Dominic Mysterio against Rusev.
I love that.
I gotta get your thoughts. What's your thoughts about that match, man?
That dude cheats every way possible and finds a way to win, and I love it. I love it. Like he makes himself entertaining. Dom is the guy that people love to hate. So I think he's the perfect kind of middle of the. He's kind of in the middle. Like people love him, but they hate him because he cheats. But I think he's entertaining.
Brett, I gotta ask you, who's gonna be the guy then knock Dominic Mysterio off his Intercontinental title run? Who's going to be that guy you might be able to envision to take that Intercontinental Championship off of him?
I think there's a very real chance if they actually do run the matchup that it's just straight up John Cena on his retirement tour here. Him winning that last title for the Grand Slam Championship. I feel like if those two match up, that's absolutely the route they're going to go. Especially since the rumored match at Survivor Series. Yeah, give me John Cena if they match up on the retirement tour.
And this is the segment of Raw that pissed me off. Last night, we got Stephanie Vicure out there getting jumped by the Judgment Day. And all of a sudden, we see Carmike's grandma come out there. Nikki Bella came out there looking like somebody auntie. Give him the win. Now, you guys did notice that toward the end of that run-in, the cameras went dark. What people are saying is the reason why the cameras went dark is because Nikki had a wardrobe malfunction. Now, this is a two-part question. A, what the hell is Nikki Bella still doing on Raw? And B, is she gonna try to get a title shot against Stephanie knowing damn good and well she gonna lose?
They shouldn't give her a title shot. She don't deserve a title shot.
No.
Who is she beating to where she deserves a title shot? She's better suited at this stage of her career to being somebody's manager. She shouldn't be in the ring. She looks old. She looks rusty. And if I had to guess what the malfunction was, it's probably that wig. I'm just saying.
What you know about Nikki Bella, Brett?
So I think it's with Nikki Bella, it's I think it's pretty clear that she's just there because she just wants to be. She didn't have to come back to the ring. She's just kind of there because she wants to be there. So I can't really knock her for being back. That being said, I think she's at the point of her career where giving her a title match against somebody like Stephanie Vicure, if that's the route that they want to go, I think it's actually perfectly fine.
I wasn't going to say that, Key. I wasn't going to say that because I didn't want to set nobody off. But it's true. It's true, Key.
What happened?
It's true. Nah, she got to, she got to pay. When she got divorced, she
that dude
got to pay child support.
That dude took her to the cleaners. She's not back because she wanted to be. She back because she broke. She back because she broke. She broke.
I wasn't going to say that, but okay. It's true.
And now she can't afford to have them people tighten them extensions. Saying. Just saying. I don't look. You can feel sorry for somebody and give them a title shot. I get it.
Yeah.
But when you look at all the talent that's on the women's roster, she doesn't deserve a title shot. So when you say, well, if they give her, that's what they would have to do. They would have to give her a title shot. She doesn't deserve a title shot. She's done nothing.
Hey, real quick, before I sign off with this segment, I got a question for Key. Who got the worst wig, Pam Oliver or Nikki Bella? Who got the worst wig? He got the worst wig. But anyway,
Pam Oliver wears a wig. Wow. I thought that was just natural bad hair.
Damn. But that's good. Oh, she said Pam. Damn. But anyway, that's gonna do it for me, Carmike.
NBA starts tonight, man. I'm excited, man. I hope y'all are excited, man. But we only got 2 games. Let's not get too excited. Just 2 games, to start now. But tomorrow we got more. To kick off, I'm gonna start with Brett. We got the Rockets and the Thunder, man. Who you got winning this game? But let me give you the Rockets lineup. They're starting for tonight.
I've seen this.
They got Amen Thompson playing point guard, Kevin Durant at the 2, Jabari Smith at the 3, Sengun at the 4, Steven Adams at the 5. So they're running 4 6-11s in their lineup tonight. How you feel about this, man? And who you got winning tonight?
I'll take OKC. A lot of the times, new lineups like that need time to get together and get cohesive. And I think even without Jalen Williams, I'm not sure who in that lineup is guarding Shea. He's going to bait that team into a lot of, foul trouble.
You don't think A-Man can guard him?
That's a nightmare even for him. The thing with A-Man is he's very good, but Shea's just very crafty, and with Amen being so young, you can bait Amen into committing some stupid fouls. So he's a very good defender, but that's going to be an absolute challenge. Or the other challenge is going to be you better be playing zone because, quite frankly, otherwise Shea's just going to make sure to set a million screens to get KD on him or Jabari Smith on him. It's just a 6'11 lineup sounds cool in theory, but I need to see it actually materialize because I'm just not sure how it's going to work. Like, are you just going to run zone all game? Or are you going to try to get, KD and Jabari matching up with twos and threes, which is also a nightmare? Steven Adams is going to have to come out and defend the 3-point line, which is also a problem. So I think with as interesting as it is, unless they absolutely destroy him on the offensive glass, I think that this is one that OKC will take.
Mo, talk to me.
I think OKC beats the brakes off them. You roll out a tall lineup, but you have no lateral quickness in your on the lineup. Who's guard other than Amen? Who's guarding anybody? KD can't guard nobody. Jabari Smith can't guard nobody.
That's a good question. Who would KD guard?
Right, Sengun ain't guard nobody. Put Steven Adams in. Steven Adams is a good interior defender, but if he got to play in space, he can't play in space. So they're long, but on the perimeter where the game is mostly played, today's game, who are they going to guard? Like, I think Brett's right. Unless they dominate on the offensive end of the floor, they're probably going to get blown out.
How about 4 out, 1 in zone, man? All the tall people around the perimeter and got Steven Adams guarding the paint.
Just straight up playing a 2-3 zone all game, I guess.
That's like a Tecmo basketball lineup.
I mean, but don't forget, like, OKC can. I mean, if they wanted to counter size, Chet's 7 foot, but Chet can step away from the basket and shoot a 3.
Right.
You know what I mean? And Isaiah Hartenstein isn't a big time scorer, but he's a double guy. He's more active than I would say the Houston bigs are when it comes to like being on the glass. So the advantage OKC has is they can play any style. And what people get lost on is they talk about the Rockets' size, but this is a brand new roster, and you just added a really big piece in KD. It's going to take a minute before they have chemistry.
I don't think it was just a real new roster. It's just they replaced your boy Jalen Green with Kevin Durant.
Well, that's an upgrade because you got rid of the guy that worked for Wingding, a chick. You know what I'm saying?
Dang.
I mean, that's
Mo be hating that boy Jalen Green.
That's not true. I'm just saying he's not as good as advertised. Look, I think yes, the core is still intact, but I'm just saying when you bring in a piece like KD, that's a huge piece. That's not just a guy. He's literally going to come in there and be your leading scorer. So he's not just a guy.
Will, how you feel about Rockets Thunder, man, when Rockets running a tall lineup tonight?
It don't matter. OKC going to run the boys off the floor. And Mo can attest to this. I've questioned, because everybody's been anointing the Rockets ever since they signed KD. I'm not ready to anoint them yet. I want to see them do it. And stuff like this stupid lineup makes me doubt them even more. And again, I'm not ready to anoint them. I think OKC is the team to beat. And right behind them is the Denver Nuggets. I think it's those two teams. I think stuff like this is what's going to be Houston's downfall. They'll probably get to the second round and they be out.
How far could they really fall? All they really did was replace Jalen Green, who wasn't a consistent scorer, with a guy who can score all the time. KD giving you 25 minimum a night.
Right? So I don't argue that, right? KD's going to be consistent. He's going to get his numbers. He's going to shoot a high percentage. I don't think nobody would argue that. But he got his numbers and shot a high percentage in Brooklyn. He got his numbers and shot a high percentage with Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
What he hasn't done in a long time is impact winning.
Exactly. And that's my point.
So I'm not saying he's a bad player, but is he going to literally take the Rockets to the finals like a lot of people think he's going to do? I don't think so. I think he's going to have a really good year, but they're not going to be this world beater that people think they're going to be.
And why you think that, Mo? Because Beirut gave up a little defense off of Jalen Green, and all they did was replace him with a scorer. So you don't think that? They still got the team is still intact that went in the playoffs and potentially could have got there if Jalen Green would have showed up scoring.
Well, two things. One, Jalen Green didn't play no defense. Don't say that. He was consistently bad on both ends of the floor. He can't guard nobody. Can't stop a nosebleed. He didn't guard anybody. But two. Right, but they struggle with an old Golden State team. Golden State's core is 35 and over. Think about that for a minute, and they struggled with them. So I'm a huge Amen Thompson fan. I will say this: if Amen Thompson makes a huge leap in his development, that would make Houston a title contender. But if Amen has, let's say, just say a slight bump in his production or whatever, and you're leaning on KD, they're not going to win a title.
But can they get there?
No.
Hey, I do want to say this too, and I think this is going to be a bigger impact than what people think. Van Fleet's injury is going to really hurt him. It's going to really hurt them in the long run. And that's another reason that makes me doubt all these. We going to the finals, and again, and my boy John, I know you listening. I know you a Houston Rockets fan, but I can't annoy him. I can't do it.
John's a Rockets fan.
Yeah, I got to see it.
Not gonna happen. Not gonna happen, John.
Ain't gonna happen, John. I'm sorry. It ain't gonna happen.
There is a lineup that I think that can absolutely start killing teams. I'm just curious how long it'll take to get to it. Because I like I said, the big lineup is interesting, and this is probably just the time to experiment with different lineups. But I think once they get a real starting lineup, you can run with Shepard, you run Amen, you run Jabari Smith, KD at the 4, and Sengun at the 5. Then everything just kind of falls into place and makes a little more sense in that regard. But
that's a better lineup.
So you got Steven Adams coming off the bench, 6 man.
That's where he should come. He should be coming off the bench. I agree.
Yes, I think that's it just makes the spacing a lot better, and it helps. You can unlock Sengun's playmaking a lot more once you surround him with 4 shooters. So I think Steven Adams is kind of at this point in his career. You can run him and Sengun in spurts, but I think at the end of the day, he probably should just be coming off the bench, being a backup 5 at this point in his career.
You can't start the two of them together. You might be dominant offensively on the boards, but your spacing is going to be terrible because look. And another thing in transition, you have horrible transition defense because Sengun is slow and Steven Adams is slower than him.
Got Amen and Jabari out there, man.
Yeah.
They can get back.
Well, last year's team, it made more sense to play those two together because they were just at times between Green and Van Fleet so inefficient that there were a ton of offensive boards to grab. But if you're running out guys like, now you're running out Kevin Durant, Jabari, Smith can knock down his open threes, and you maybe put out a guy like Reed Shepard. All of a sudden, offensive boards don't really matter as much because you have 3, a lot more, efficient players out there. So I just think, too, with this iteration of the Suns, with them getting more efficient, now there's just not as many offensive boards for Steven Adams and company to grab. So I don't think it really matters as much as it did last year for them.
My thing is, what with no real point guard, do y'all really think Amen can play point guard for them? Like, I'm looking at their offense as it looks like it's going to be a ISO game for Kevin Durant for that series they run in that tall lineup.
I think you're right, Carmike. I think they'll be more ISO-centric, which you don't really want to be. I do think Amen could be a playmaker, but I don't think he can be a primary playmaker. And I will say this. If you're going to go with that tall lineup, I'm going to take the over that between Amen, KD, and Sengun. Between those 3, you get at least 12 to 13 turnovers.
God.
That's not an exaggeration.
That's
Now,
a lot of turnovers, bro.
but that's being real. One, it's not a secret. Look, KD's a good playmaker, but he's got a deliberate high dribble. He gets ripped a lot, and he gets ripped even more than he's older. KD's gonna you playing him at the 2, he's getting ripped. You play Şengün is sloppy with the ball from the jump. He's a good playmaker, but when he puts the ball on the floor, that's a turnover. And look, Amir's nice, but you're asking him to be a point guard, a position that I've never seen him play, and you expect him not to have high turnovers? It's coming.
Another thing that gets me too, you looking at a year older KD. And I think the older you get, the more susceptible you get to physical play. So if you're gonna put him at the 4, I'm going at him all. You got a physical 4? I'm going at him all day.
Oh man, this NBA ain't built like that. They like to do a lot of screens and switches to get the weaker player on the best offensive player. But they ain't doing no, hey, we banging down low. There's only certain teams that do that. The Sixers gonna do it with Embiid, and the Nuggets will do it with Jokic. And he don't even bang down low. Like he'll cook you outside too. But anyway, moving on. Mo. Them Lakers. Is playing them Warriors. With no LeBron for 3 months. But we're starting off with the Warriors. How you feel like the Lakers gonna start the season?
I think it's gonna be a slow process. I think Luka's gonna be fine, but look at the surrounding players. If Ayton shows up and he can give you that 18-10, that'll solidify what they can do in the post. I don't question what Luka's gonna do or what Austin Reeves is gonna do. My concern is for the rotational players around them. To this day, I still don't think the Lakers have enough shooting on that team.
What you mean? Man, they got Bronny coming off the bench.
Come on, man. I don't want to. You guys are funny. Look, I'm just saying. I don't think that they don't have enough shooting, and I still think they're one of the least athletic teams in basketball. They'll get off to a slow start tonight versus the Warriors. That could go either way because the Warriors are an older team too. So that's a toss-up game.
Will, what you think?
I got Golden State. I think that
just straight off the bird, just Golden State, huh?
Golden State.
We ain't gonna put into account that they're old as hell. They're 36 and up.
The Lakers old too. No,
Lakers ain't that old. They got a 25-year-old Luka or a 26-year-old Luka.
It don't matter. It don't matter. I just think that Golden State had to build a talent. With Butler, you just got Al Horford, so that fits a lot of holes.
Bro, he's 60 years old.
63.
He still fits in a lot of holes that they were weak in last year.
We don't know that though, but go ahead.
And right now, Dalton Connect ain't connecting. Outside shooting is going to be an issue. The outside shooting is going to be an issue. How many players do you really trust on this team to perform up to the level?
Luka's
gonna do his thing. Luka's gonna do his thing. That's a given. That's like saying Steph Curry's gonna do his things too. It's gonna be your supporting cast that has to do what they need to do. And I trust the Golden State Warriors supporting cast more than I do the Lakers.
True.
I don't trust Rookie. I don't trust Hachimura at all. I think Ayton's gonna get his too because he is a big. He's gonna if he gets his 16 and 10, that's good, but that's not enough.
Look, I just need if Luka's going to be the best player on the floor and he dominates the ball, but he keeps everybody involved, Lakers going to be fine. It's up to Luka to make life easier for the other guys, for Gabe Vincent and people like that. If Luka does what he's supposed to do, they'll be fine.
But do you trust? But you really trust putting your faith and trust in Gabe Vincent?
No, well, this one he's healthy Gabe for the first time since he's healthy. Well, look, everybody loves Cooper Flag, right? Everybody talks about him. They love him, right? Cooper Flag got roasted by Gabe. Couldn't guard him. Couldn't guard Gabe Vincent. Now, Gabe Vincent is not one of the top point guards in basketball, but he looked like it against Cooper Flag. So if Cooper Flag is everything you think he is and Gabe Vincent can roast him, I think Gabe Vincent is going to be fine.
Not to mention Luka. What team would you take over, right? Would you take the team Luka took to the finals and got cooked in the finals? Because he carried that team there. Or are you going to take the team he got now?
That's an interesting question.
No, it
Look,
ain't.
I guess if they're whole, meaning that LeBron's healthy, I would take the team that he has now.
Brett, Lakers Warriors, talk to me.
I'll take the Warriors. Look,
You too, Brett? What's up with y'all, man?
look, you're talking about the Warriors' age. It's game one. This is not the game to be worried about their energy levels. Like, if this was like game 75 and we're like in the dog days of the season, sure, then I think that's literally a concern. But it's game one. If they're not energetic for game one and they can't get out of bed for game one, then they have other issues because it's not an energy issue at that point. It's just an effort issue. No, but without Braun, I do think that Luka's going to be the best player on the court. I think the problem just ends up being that the Warriors are going to have the second, third, fourth, and fifth best player on the court.
Yep.
That I think the issue just comes down to the depth. I think the Warriors' depth is slightly better than the Lakers' depth, and that's going to be the difference maker. I don't doubt Luka. I just doubt the guys around him. I don't think Ayton and company are going to bring enough as a supporting cast to match what Jimmy Butler, Al Horford, Kuminga and company are going to be bringing to the table. So I think it will be a fun back and forth game, but I trust the Warriors supporting cast in this one slightly more than the Lakers supporting cast. So give me the Warriors in this one.
I'm gonna be watching Kuminga a lot this season because he's betting on himself with his contract status, taking that lesser deal that he did. So that's gonna be an interesting thing to see what he does this season.
So I want to start with the bottom 5 teams in the NBA. Do y'all think they're going to finish bottom 5 in the NBA after the season? And I'm going from 30 to 26. Will, Wizards, Jazz, Nets, Hornets, Suns.
Oh, they all gonna stay at the bottom.
Even the Suns?
I don't. Come on, man. Come on, man. What? Look at that roster.
They got D Book there though.
It don't matter.
What they got?
We've seen players flourish on bad teams, and this is the very definition of a great player on a bad team.
Book leaving.
He gonna be gone pretty soon.
If they get up and start
D Book ain't going nowhere.
Well, they said that about a lot of people. Then they went somewhere.
Yep.
Mo, how you feel about the bottom 5 teams starting the NBA, man? They gonna finish there?
Look, the only team that you named that I'm curious about that might not be bottom would be the Hornets, because they actually do have a talented young core. The problem with them is about staying healthy. But look, in the Eastern Conference, I think there's an opportunity for a team like the Hornets, provided they're healthy, to make a jump. In the Western Conference, you named off the Jazz, who I agree they're not going to be very good. Here's a team that I know is not
Jazz going to be good with Ace. Ace ain't going to do something for them.
Yeah, he's going to help them get another high draft pick. And that's good. That's good. That's how you build a team. Look, I think another team that's not going to be very good is Sacramento. We didn't mention them. They're not going to be any good. If Doug Christie can lead Sacramento to 35 or 40 wins, he should be coach of the year.
You think Sacramento's bad, man? They got
Levine
and DeRozan.
Name all those players you're naming right now. I like DeMar DeRozan, but DeMar's 35, 36. And
they got Levine.
Look at that spacing though. It's non-existent.
Zach LaVine is playoff cancer. If he's on your team, you don't go to playoffs.
Playoff cancer. He's
playoff cancer.
He's cancer too.
If he's on your team,
cancer too.
If he's on your team, you ain't going to playoffs. Look,
regular season cancer too.
All I'm saying is they have a lot of familiar names on that roster, but they don't have a collection of winning players. Sabonis is going to put up double-doubles. He's probably going to lead the NBA in double-doubles, but he can't be your best player. And the truth of the matter is he is their best player. And if he's your best player, you're not a good team.
Nope.
Brett, how you feel about the bottom 5 teams?
You know, it's funny. I actually kind of agree with Mo. I think the Hornets could take a step this year, and if they don't, they should probably just start looking to offload like Lamelo at that point. But
Lamelo can't stay healthy though. Who gonna
well,
want that?
well, like I say, he's immensely talented. But if you're in year like 5 or 6 with him and you still can't make a play in game, probably time to go a different direction at that point or just change course. But no, I think this year though they can make a real step. They do have some real talent on that team, and I would say the Kings are going to be worse than them. That team is just going to be brutal. Like it's just there's a lot of them making the play-in would actually be the worst case scenario. They better hope they're one of the 5 worst teams. Like what did they get out of making the play-in and maybe the playoffs? A terrible draft pick? And that's exactly what their biggest problem is. They don't have anybody worth building around. Like
It's the point.
their best youngest player
It's
is
true.
Keegan Murray, but Keegan Murray has been declining for the last 2 years at age 25. Say Devin Carter, they're apparently on the trade block for who knows what reason because Russ and Dennis Schroeder need their development apparently. So this is just a really, really bad basketball team. It's got a lot of familiar names, familiar faces. That doesn't make it a very good basketball team. And I wouldn't be shocked if mid-season we get a DeMar DeRozan trade.
I'll take the over on. I'll take the under on how many games before Doug Christie loses his mind and benches Russ. I love Russell Westbrook, bro, but come on, it's time to hang him up.
Big names don't mean big wins, and I think that's the situation here.
And then it's not just the big names; they're a bad combination.
Mm-hmm.
If you go on talent, we always talk about how talented guys are, but on pure talent, Zach LaVine is one of the 10 most talented players in the NBA on talent. But in terms of what he actually brings to your table, he's a train wreck. He's a train wreck.
Head case.
And
he's a head case.
And think about it. You got to play both ends of the floor. Yep. LaVine don't play no defense. DeMar has never played defense. Russell Westbrook he's an up and down defender. Sabonis, as gifted as he is, he don't play defense. Who are they gonna stop?
Hey, every year for some reason, Sabonis always seems to get a Defensive Player of the Year vote.
I don't understand.
I don't understand that either.
The funniest gimmick ever. You look at like the guys who receive one vote, and for somehow, all because he's a really good rebounder, Sabonis always gets one. It's the funniest thing.
You know what, Brett? That's a great point. Somebody made that point to me. And by the way, I do agree with the fact that being a great defensive rebounder is important because that's how you end possessions. But Sabonis is a horrible defender. He is. He's a great rebounder, but he's a horrible right. He's got bad feet. And while he looks like he's athletic, man can't jump over a phone book.
Nope.
All right, fellas, moving on, man. The Lions took care of business on Forest Field yesterday, or was it that Baker Mayfield and company was choking down the stretch, couldn't even score a touchdown? But nevertheless, Lions took care of business, 24-9. Mo, how you feel about this game?
This game right here, it was probably the worst game Baker's played all season. He was missing receivers by a mile left and right. He was just really erratic. He looked like year one Baker. Like he was really erratic. He was pressing.
He was under a lot of pressure that game,
though. He was under pressure every game because their offensive line is not great at pass blocking. But I just think that he didn't play well. And I want to give a lot of credit to the Lions defense because they played good football. They shut down any semblance of a run game by Tampa Bay. And I just thought that Baker he was a little off. He was a little erratic. I don't expect that to be like a long-term thing, but I think it's more about giving the Lions defense credit than worrying about Tampa's offense, even though remember, they're still missing their best running back. They're still missing a couple of receivers. So, and I think Mike Evans got hurt again.
Yes,
so I just think that I think Tampa Bay is going to be fine, but I think they went up against a solid Lions team and they lost.
Brett, how you feel about Lions and Bucks?
Yeah, I don't think the Buccaneers choked. I just think that just straight up the Lions were the better team, and it showed. And it's not that the Bucks can't hang with them. It's when Mike Evans breaks his collarbone and Godwin's already out. Ibuka missed yesterday. Like at that point, all you really have to do if you're the Lions is make sure the run game doesn't kill you, because they don't really have anything in the pass game at that point. So,
Oh, they had Mbuka and
He played.
Ted
Yeah, he
Ted.
played.
Who was
Yeah,
it?
he
Ted
played.
Johnson. Ted Johnson was going off
And
yesterday,
Ted
man.
Johnson did go off. And Ibuka played. He just ain't do much.
I
say
mean, Baker was overthrowing him a lot,
He was
Say,
going high all night, and I didn't get that.
and plus they was double teaming Mbuka a lot.
Yeah.
And he was
Yeah.
trying to force it in there.
That's why Tez Johnson was open.
say I know he
True.
was
Ted
questionable
Johnson,
coming into the game.
Ted Johnson had it started, boy. Woo! Dang, Mo.
That's not hate. That's not your truth.
Ted Johnson had started.
Tez Johnson was getting single covered because he's not their best receiver. Just tell the truth. I'm not anti Tez Johnson. You're supposed to be open. You're being single covered.
Everybody go get Ted
I mean,
Johnson
we
to
know a lot of
finish right
receivers
now.
that don't get open at single cover. Cooper Cup can barely get open single cover.
Right, but he's old as dirt. That's why.
He ain't even old. He's like 30.
He's 30 with multiple seasons of being injured. He's old. He's old.
My fault, Brett. Man, go ahead, man.
We sorry.
No, you guys are all good. Yeah. No, that say I know Buka was questionable coming into the game. For some reason, I had a brain fart, thought he missed it. But even him playing banged up, there just wasn't a lot there for the Buccaneers to have last night. The Lions were just straight up the better team, and like I said, it showed. I think the Buccaneers will give them a better matchup maybe later if they meet again in the playoffs, because you're going to have the rest of the team hopefully back and healthy at that point. But just wasn't their night last night. I don't take away much more than that. Baker and the Bucks will be fine.
Brett, let's talk about Mr. CJ Stroud, man, and them Texans. What is going on, man, with them? He looks out of sync with his entire team right now. And I mean, Sam Darnold didn't play a great game last night, but they ended up still pulling off a win.
It feels like with CJ Stroud, he's just seeing ghosts at this point. In the words of the great, Sam Darnold. But it's one of those things, and right, the Texans didn't do enough to protect CJ Stroud. We knew that coming into the year, and now I feel like it's really starting to show, because it feels like that half these throws, Stroud's rushing, even when the line does protect him, because he feels like there's somebody breathing down his neck. They can't block anybody. If we ran a pass rush, the four of us on this panel, one of us will get home to CJ Stroud. It's not good. They got to do a better job keeping him upright, but I think maybe this year it might be too little too late, because it just feels like his internal clock is so sped up at this point that he's just not waiting for routes to develop. I think there's still talent to be had there. I don't think CJ Stroud's already washed in year 2 or 3, but I just think he's the guy that this offseason or even the trade deadline hasn't, fully gone through yet. You gotta get some more offensive line help in the building. Get some talent that can keep him upright and make him feel more comfortable. That way that you can get your offense back on track. But it all starts with the line, because I'm not going to believe that CJ Stroud is bad all of a sudden. I just think that you got to protect him a lot better than you have so far.
Mm-hmm. Well, Texans Seahawks, talk to me.
I think that with CJ, and I'll piggyback a lot off of Brett. There's talent to be had there. Yeah, Joe Mixon did go down, but Willie Marks has been showing up, giving props. That line is terrible. It doesn't give him a whole lot of time to throw, a whole lot of time to process. Nico Collins can't show off what he can do because of it. And despite that defense playing pretty decent football last night, they still lost. So, yeah, that line has to get better so they can start the running game and move forward from there to give CJ some time and some confidence. But it's all on that line. And I just thought the Seahawks also were a better team last night. You saw Jack Charbonnet got 2 touchdowns off that defense last night. And that's nothing to scarf at. on the DeMarco Ryan's defense. So he scored those 2 touchdowns. DSN looked good last night. So shout out to the Seahawks. But yeah, CJ's line has got to get better.
Hey, shout out to the Ohio State receivers showing up this year, man. That boy in Jigba, Jesus Christ, he is
Yeah,
crushing the
man.
league
He's a
this year.
bad man.
I questioned him coming into the league if because he's coming from playing the slot to the outside, but he's done a great job.
That boy looking unguardable this season. But Mo, Texans Seahawks, man, thoughts?
The better team won. We talked about what the Texans could be coming into the season, but we also talked about the concerns about the offensive line. I'm with Brett. I don't think this is about Stroud's talent or his ability to be a franchise quarterback, but I will say this. If you don't take care of your young franchise quarterback and he gets beat up season after season, it wears on them. It breaks them down. And if you break him, if he breaks down like that, he loses confidence. They have to make a major move this offseason because I don't think they're going to fix anything with a trade by the trade deadline, but they're going to have to make a major commitment to fix that offensive line. You can have all the talent in the world at the skill positions, but if your offensive line is trash, your offense is trash. And that impacts your defense because if your offense is going 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, I don't care how good your defense is, they're going to get worn down by playing that many plays on the field. So I think it's a domino effect. I don't blame D'Amico Ryans because he's not the GM. Their GM has done a horrible job. He should be fired.
Might be
I mean,
another David Carr situation all over again.
That's
I
a good
mean,
one.
Mo,
David Carr, yeah.
there's been some quarterbacks who had successful seasons behind terrible lines. Andrew Luck.
And what happened to him?
Yeah,
He also retired early.
Where's Andrew Luck at right now, Carmike?
Where is that right now?
The getting trash back there. I mean, you know, Andrew Luck played in an era where quarterbacks was still possibly getting trash back there. So
Right, but remember, Andrew Luck had wheels. Stroud don't have
He ain't got no
wheels.
wheels.
Andrew Luck had wheels.
Joe Burrow, man, he has success behind his trash line.
And where's Joe Burrow at now?
Exactly.
I mean, you know, he just,
More times than not, he dressed like we are.
I think the problem with that too is like it's kind of showing and proving the point though, because Joe Burrow's had success, but more often than not, he's been hurt. Like Andrew Luck had some success, but he retired early.
He did. Hey, when you getting beat up like that, Brett, man, you know, you can't take him too much. It's hard to get out of bed.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't blame them at all. That's exactly why the Texans do need to just. I don't care if you use all 7 of your draft picks next year on offensive linemen. Just make a concerted effort to actually fix your line and not just trade your best offensive lineman and draft like one swing tackle in the draft and call.
Particularly, can we get a left tackle, please? Particularly left tackle. Left tackle. Let's get a left tackle.
Well,
we do that first?
Let's talk about this, Brett. Man, you wasn't here, but was this game more so about Jackson Dart and the Giants choking, or was it more about Bo Nix and the Broncos' resilience? 33-point fourth quarter to win the game. Historical fourth quarter.
Say, why not? So the real answer to that, and always comes off like a sellout, right, is why not both? Because in all reality, you can't have one without the other in a situation like this. The defense just gave up 33 in the fourth. That was just truly incredible. I think Shane Bowen just played it way too safe at times. You can't just sit and prevent defense the entire fourth, even when you're up. You got to make sure that you still keep the offense guessing. And the problem is, I think the biggest issue is I think he went to that prevent defense too early. And eventually they found a rhythm. The offense got in sync. So then when they finally, late in the quarter, when the Broncos were coming back, finally went back to mixing up defenses, it was too late because now Bo Nix is in a rhythm. Now he's hitting throws because now he has some confidence. So I think a lot of it was just terrible play calling by Shane Bowen in the fourth. It really felt like, and this isn't the first game he's done this in, this just feels like another poorly called fourth quarter, and he kind of lost him the game with some really horrid play calling. That being said, the Broncos were just resilient. They never gave up, and being down 25-8 with 5 minutes to go is normally a death sentence, but this is a team that just fought and clawed their way back and just won in an absolute stunner. When you drop 32 points on the road, like in a tough situation like Denver, that should easily be enough to win you a football game. But the fact it didn't, that showed how resilient the Broncos were, but it also just kind of exposed some poor defensive play calling and tendencies by the Giants, because also Deontay Banks could guard anybody to save his life.
Mo, thoughts on the game?
It was
Historic.
it was a collective team choke job. Like, yes, the Giants' defense was bad, but they weren't any worse than their offense. What did they do in the fourth quarter? Nothing, except for turn the football over. Like, do you know how hard it is to lose a game when you're up 25-8 with 5 minutes to play? Like, if you run the ball into the ground 3 times in a row and gain no yards, but just run the ball, and the clock you would win on just going 3 and out, and they couldn't even get that right.
I mean, I don't think they could get Scatterboo or Tracy going that game at the fourth quarter. It was shutting it down.
I mean, Brett is right. The OC called a horrible fourth quarter. I don't know what the hell he was doing. There's a sequence when, had they just ran the ball, it would have took an additional minute 30 off the clock, and he passed the ball more than once. The hell are you doing? Just dumb on both sides. The OC and the DC, horrible games. Why are you playing prevent when you were going after them with one of the best front fours in all football, you're getting to the quarterback? I hate when teams play safe. When you look, scared money don't make money. That's why they lost.
And the fact when the game's on the line and they're like 30 yards away from kicking the game-winning field goal, and you're running a prevent defense without Dexter Lawrence or Abdul Carter on the field, like it just felt like a lot of this came down to just poor coaching. Like you just could not coach a worse fourth quarter than that Giants staff did.
They better win a bunch of games down the road, because I tell you what, when it's time to walk into that owner's office and have that conversation about, do I still have a job? You know, Dayball, he's bringing that up. He gonna point to this game like, Brian, I wanted to keep you really, really bad, but we can't get over that Denver game. On that alone, you fired.
You know
Broncos and Giants. How you feel about it?
They say. You know what they say? Prevent defense prevents you from winning, and that's exactly what happened in this point. Another thing too that I want to get out there. That's a really good Denver defense that clamped down on that Giants offense in the fourth quarter. Really good defense. And offensively, Denver's got some weapons. RJ Harvey, Joshua Dobbs, Cortland Sutton, Evan Ingram. They got some talent out there in Denver too. So I think it's a combination of the two. A good Denver team that saw its way to claw back in, and once they clawed back in, it didn't stop. So I think it's a little bit on both. Brian Daboll's in trouble because you took whatever energy you had from beating the Eagles, and now you lose to the Broncos like this. I hope you get some other wins down the road, because if you don't, no matter.
I mean, they got the Eagles on Sunday.
Hey, you know the Eagles gonna come in there with a chip on their shoulder.
I will say this. I let me correct myself. The loss this past Sunday is horrific. But if you beat a division opponent, especially the Eagles, twice, those division games, if he can win his division games, I think that's how Daboll saves his job.
Because those division games count like 2 at the end of the day. So yeah.
Will Eagles bringing back Brandon Graham, man? Is that a screen for desperation?
No, I think it's smart. You have one of your leaders retire, so I think it was smart to bring him in. 15, 20 snaps a game on defense. Yeah, I think that's a good move for them. It's going to be beneficial for them in the long run.
Mo, what you think?
I think it's a good pickup. He's still a good football player. He can give you a good 14 snaps, a good situational football player, and he's a leader in the locker room.
Yep.
So I think it's a good move.
Brett, what you think?
I mean, I think it obviously comes from a place of desperation, but I think it's still a good move. When you lose, Zadarius Smith, who led the team in sacks and pressures, that's just a hard loss to fathom in the middle of the year. So
Mm.
bringing back someone like Graham, who shouldn't take like any time at all to, you can incorporate him into your system, and he already knows the locker room and everybody right away. Like that's huge. So do I think there was desperation to it? Yeah, absolutely. Does that change it from being a good move? Absolutely not. It's a great move with a hint of desperation.
Mo, we was very critical of this offense before the season started, but are they looking like the best offense in the NFL right now? The Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm not gonna go that far. I think they look better than they have looked in recent weeks. But again, they got Rashi Rice back. That helps. But I don't know how good the offense is because the four of us can look good against the Raiders. So I'm not gonna judge the offense off of beating up on the Raiders. I need to see them play against a really good football team and see what that offense really is because they had Ricey Rice before last season, and the offense was still one of the lowest scoring offenses in football. They were like 30th. Like it's not a high powered offense. They don't have a great run game. The passing game is like middle of the road. So are they better than what they were? Sure. But is it one of the best offenses in football? Absolutely not.
Will, what you think?
I'm really surprised. Mo just touched on it like a running game. I'm really kind of shocked because I kind of shocked by that because I thought Pacheco might turn it around. He hadn't done it. Kareem Hunt, I
Checo.
thought he might have turned things around. He ain't done it. He scored a couple of touchdowns a week or so ago. But other than that, you hadn't heard from him. So, like a running game is going to continue to hurt. They're going to continue to have to manufacture points to be relevant in these games. They're a defensive football team now, and if that defense ever slacks or have any type of a weakness during the game, the Kansas City Chiefs are in trouble because they don't have the offensive firepower to go head to head with some of these teams.
They are defensive football. They've been a defensive football team, I think, the last 3 seasons.
Brett, what you think, big dog?
I think with the Chiefs, like it's fair to think that they're back, but also I just want to see them do it against some higher quality opponents. The only real like juggernaut they pulled off a win so far this year would be the Detroit Lions, who are so I'll give them credit for that one. I know the Lions are missing some pieces on defense, but they look really good against the Lions. But I feel like it's fair to assume that the Chiefs are back. They definitely deserve the benefit of the doubt with their pieces coming back healthy now. They're starting to find a rhythm, but I think they really need that real legacy, like season defining win to really prove that they're back. So I think, for example, week 9 they go face the Bills in Buffalo. I think that'd be a great spot for them to really kind of show the world that hey, we're back.
Hey, Brett, at this point, man, real quick before we get out of here, man, who do you see as the favorites to come out of the AFC and NFC right now as the season is unfolding thus far?
Ooh, I'll say it. It's so interesting because both are kind of wide open, right? Say,
Mm-hmm.
I'm probably stick in the AFC though, considering that every single year they seem to come out of the AFC. It feels like Kansas City, if they make the playoffs, and they're just the team to beat.
Hard to go
Because,
against Mahomes, huh?
well, I'll say, because he's proved it's hard to go against him. Buffalo is supposed to beat him until they can. Say, Baltimore was supposed to beat him until they couldn't. So when it comes to a playoff setting, Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, I think, are just the team to beat until somebody proves they can.
Who you
In the
think
end,
coming out the NFC?
you know my answer to that. Go Packers.
See, man. See, man. I want see.
He said not the
We
Saints.
weren't even talking about them. We weren't even talking about them. And you get on me like that.
Mo, who you think
Go,
coming out the
Damien,
AFC and
go to
NFC?
timeout, Damien. Go to timeout right now.
If the Chiefs make the playoffs, and I think right now they look like they're not only going to make the playoffs, they might end up winning the division. And we didn't think that early on. They do become the team to beat because they're just time tested. Would I take Patrick Mahomes over Josh Allen every day, all day, every day. Who's going to stop them if they get into the postseason? What other juggernaut team is there in the AFC? There's not any.
Action
So
Jackson and King Henry.
Yeah, that's not a thing.
Who you think going out the NFC?
Look, I think Brett has a case for his Packers, but I'm old school like this. I think until you beat the champs, I'm gonna go with the champs. They don't even look like they're playing their best football, and they're right where they need to be. So I would say the Eagles.
Will. AFC, NFC. Who you think the best two teams?
Look, to win that division, I did pick the Broncos, but Kansas City seemed to be peaking at the right time. So, and if Kansas City make the playoffs, 9 times out of 10, they're gonna go to the Super Bowl. If I gotta go with I gotta go with KC. I'm like Mo. Until someone beats them, I think they're the team to beat, and that's the Eagles. I love to see Eagles Colts. I just don't think the Colts will be there then.
You know what? Love what Dr. Jones is doing, but I don't know if this is what it called a placebo effect. I would ask you guys this. They get to the AFC Championship game. You taking the Colts over the Chiefs? Even though I love what the Colts do, there's a difference between being battle tested in the moment. I can't see myself taking Daniel Jones over Patrick Mahomes. I just can't.
Believe in JT.
They'll take that, man. They're gonna put up an 8-man front to stop Jonathan Taylor. You put an 8-man front, you make Danny Dimes beat you. That's not a good formula.
If the Colts are making it to the AFC Championship game, anything's possible at that point. If they're still running hot in going into the AFC Championship game, yeah, they have a chance. So why not?
That's actually a fair point because we're leaping ahead saying they're going to be in the AFC title game. If they're that good, by the way, offensively, that's not a mirage. I think that's the best offensive line in football.
It is,
and you have one of the 2 or 3 best running backs in football. So that's not a mirage. That is what they are. So,
and
yeah.
I did mention that on Sports Report a couple of weeks ago that would be the Super Bowl the Giants would hate. The Giants would hate that because Saquon goes again. Daniel Jones gets there when you just had him.
Oh, that's right. That'd be crazy.
Hey,
Wouldn't that be crazy?
The Giants would hate.
Saquon won a Super Bowl, then Dr. Jones wins a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
You know what? Even though it's not his, I might turn around and fire my GM for that reason.
That'd be crazy. That'd be crazy.
Indiana Jones.
Go Daniel Jones and he wins? What?
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for us today, man. We appreciate everybody stopping through. Brett, appreciate you coming through, man. You got any closing remarks for our people?
Yeah, you can catch Mo and I Thursday at night on the And One podcast. It's going to be a lot of fun. And we have a new time for the Meaty Boys podcast. We're going to be going Mondays or starting at 7:15 Central. And we have a very special guest for our first, Monday show, Frankie DeFalco. He owns Brew City Wrestling, former guy who wrestled in the WWF and WCW. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure to check us out Monday.
Definitely.
And that's going to give you a double header for Monday because right after those guys, it's Sports Report at 10 p.m. So don't forget.
And as always, if you mow better, you do better. Close us out.
Hey, thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. Make sure you check out all the great content we have at Wire to Wire Network. Wire to Wire Network, we appreciate you.